They laughed when the declaration was read aloud. A rippling chorus of alien clicks and hisses echoed through the chamber as the word Earth translated into something closer to mudsphere. The laughter only grew when the human delegation was forced to stand in restraint beneath floating banners of conquest. To the Car Dominion, this wasn't a war. It was a cleanup operation. The chamber hung in orbit above a shattered moon, its walls of transparent alloy revealing fleets like glittering scars across the dark canvas of space. At the center of it all stood Colonel Mara Ellison of the United States Space Force. Her hands were bound, her jaw was clenched, but her eyes were steady. Before her, the Car High Arbiter listed humanity's crimes: territorial defiance, unauthorized expansion, refusal to submit. The aliens towered over her, their bodies chitinous and armored by evolution itself. Their confidence was absolute, their intelligence reports unanimous. Humans were inventive, yes, but they were fractured, emotional, and utterly incapable of unified resistance. Earth was backward, its weapons crude, its military untested against a real interstellar power. Even now, Ellison noticed how the guards stood too close, their posture radiating casual contempt. One of them nudged her shoulder with the barrel of a shock lance, just to watch her flinch. She didn't. She remembered the academy briefings, the simulations that were labeled unwinnable. She remembered the long nights where admirals argued, not about if the car would come, but when. And she remembered the quiet orders, sent months ago orders no alien intelligence had ever intercepted, because humans had learned the hard way that silence could be sharper than any blade. The Arbiter finished the charges. He announced the opening strike would commence in one standard cycle. The annihilation of Earth's orbital defenses would be broadcast live, a warning to all other lesser civilizations. Then he asked if the human wished to speak before the sentence was carried out. The chamber hushed, eager for begging, for spectacle. Ellison lifted her head slowly. "We acknowledge your declaration," she said, her voice even, almost calm. "But you should know Earth does not escalate wars. We end them." The laughter returned, louder this time. The Arbiter waved a claw dismissively as she was dragged away. He missed the subtle shift in the holographic displays behind him. He missed the way several stars flickered, then vanished entirely from car sensors. The first strike came as promised. A wall of antimatter lances tore through Earth's orbital grid. Stations bloomed into silent fireballs, and satellites were reduced to vapor. Across the Dominion fleet, confidence hardened into certainty as reports flooded in, human defenses collapsing, minimal resistance, population centers exposed. On Earth, cities dimmed as power was rerouted. Civilians moved underground. And in a mountain buried beneath Colorado stone, Ellison watched the feeds. She stood in a room full of officers who hadn't slept in days. Their faces were drawn, their hands shaking not with fear, but with restraint. The car advanced, deploying ground forces toward Mars, then Luna. Each victory was cleaner than the last, each communique more mocking. They began to broadcast directly to Earth, showing prisoners, destroyed ships, demanding surrender, demanding tribute. Humanity did not answer. What the car did not understand was that humans had never been good at winning fair fights. Their entire history was a catalog of desperation turned into doctrine, of defeat study until they became weapons. While the Dominion celebrated, human vessels slipped through gravity wells so tight no car ship would dare follow. They rode on pure math instead of shields, hiding in blind spots created by stars too unstable for alien navigation. On the fifth day, a car dreadnought vanished near Jupiter. Its last transmission was a burst of static and a single confused chirr. It was dismissed as a mechanical failure. On the sixth day, two more disappeared. Dominion commanders grew irritated, then cautious, then angry. They accused each other of incompetence, still unable to detect a single human attack signature. Ellison was brought back before the council on the seventh day. This time, she was unrestrained. The Arbiter wanted answers. He accused humanity of sabotage, of trickery. He demanded to know what weapons they were hiding. Ellison met his gaze and finally allowed a hint of something to show through her composure. Pity. "You declared war on Earth," she said softly. You never asked how we survived ourselves. The turning point came without warning. Across car space, stars went dark. They didn't explode. They didn't collapse. They were simply gone. Their energy was siphoned away through channels humans had discovered decades earlier while trying to solve their own energy crises. Dyson swarms, built quietly and patiently, were repurposed in an instant. Human fleets emerged not from hyperspace, but from folded space-time corridors mapped through brute force trial and error. They appeared inside car defensive perimeters, where shields meant nothing. The first true battle lasted 11 minutes. Car ships, designed for overwhelming frontal assaults, couldn't track enemies that didn't maneuver like enemies were supposed to. Human commanders spoke in clipped bursts, disciplined, synchronized, every movement rehearsed long before first contact. They didn't taunt. They didn't broadcast threats. They disabled engines, fried command nodes, and left entire fleets drifting, alive but helpless. Panic rippled through the Dominion. Centuries of assumed superiority crumbled in a matter of hours. The Arbiter watched the feeds in silence as report after report confirmed the impossible. Human casualties were minimal, while car losses were catastrophic. This is not war, he hissed, his voice trembling. Ellison stood beside him, her hands folded calmly behind her back. It is, she replied. You're just new to losing. The climax came at Earth itself. The remaining car armada regrouped for one final desperate strike. Enraged, they fired everything they had at the planet below. But then, human defenses rose not the old satellites, but something deeper. The planet itself responded. Magnetic fields were weaponized. Orbital platforms unfolded from camouflage. Millions of minds linked through command nets that had been refined through centuries of internal human conflict. The sky burned. Space screamed. And when it was over, the car armada was gone. Its survivors fled into the void, broadcasting surrender across every frequency they had once used to mock. Humanity did not pursue them beyond its borders. Instead, Earth transmitted a single message, translated into every known language. We will not conquer you. We will remember you. In the months that followed, the Dominion fractured. Its client species began to reassess centuries of fear. Its councils rewrote laws once thought immutable. Earth rebuilt quietly, efficiently, its scars worn without shame. And somewhere, in the vast silence between the stars, a warning spread faster than any fleet ever could. They declared war on Earth, and no one had warned them what humanity becomes when it finally stops holding back. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. See you in the next one.